I was 12 years old at the time. I was hormonal. And at this time period, I was active on Tumblr.
Hey everybody, what is up? It is Balloon. Welcome back to my channel. Happy Friday. How are you all doing? We've got some drama to get into today because guess what? Jamie Charlie is at it again. Well, not at it again, but people have been kind of digging up this old clip from his video 2 years ago that is up on James Charles' channel still. People are arguing that this little clip, this video wasn't really appropriate for James Charles' young audience, who of course, James Charles' audience, you guys are probably aware, a lot of his audience is made up of teenagers. That is his kind of demographic on YouTube with his videos. We all know he likes to hang out with young TikTokers and stuff. By the way, I'm just doing my makeup here. I've just got my base down. So we're going to get into this about James Charles because all these allegations and stuff, people are now complaining all over Twitter that it's not fair, it's a big double standard, that James Charles hasn't as yet been dropped by Morphe, that Morphe have not even come out and said anything about the situation. Going in with some of this, P. Louise base in red. So people are now complaining that it's really unfair how Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star were both, of course, dropped by Morphe when it was all over jokes and scandals from their past, when this is something that is of course happening in the present with James Charles. So people have gone into James Charles' old videos. They found this video with this clip of James Charles talking about going on websites like Tumblr and Omegle, which is a site that people used to kind of meet each other. And James Charles went into detail about how he used to use Omegle, that he would use it to kind of creep on older guys, seeing them do things, you know, that were kind of not inappropriate for his age group, all that kind of stuff. So let's roll the clip.
And at this time period, I was active on Tumblr. At the time, there were a lot of really famous bloggers that I loved and looked up to. And one website that all these famous bloggers would always go on to meet their fans was called Omegle, which is an online chat room. I remember going on Omegle literally all the time and sitting there for hours, clicking through different strangers, trying to find different famous bloggers that I really loved and wanted to meet and just wanted to talk to for a few short seconds. And ironically enough, I don't think I ever once met anybody who I was looking for because there was always thousands of people online. But when you're scrolling through strangers' video cameras on an anonymous live video cam website, I'm sure you can imagine what I started to come across as a hormonal 12-year-old. Thinking about this is making me want to die. I quickly realized that although a lot of people on Tumblr were using the site to meet their fans and meet new friends, that a lot of people were using Omegle for different purposes. And through realizing this, I also started using Omegle for different purposes, if you get what I'm putting on the table here. Oh my god. Once I kind of figured out the schedule and how to really finesse the whole situation, the visits to Omegle became more and more frequent until they were literally a daily occurrence, which thinking about it now is literally so repulsive, but at the time, I'm not even gonna lie, I was definitely like addicted to it. It was a fun challenge for me, which is so like psychotic to think about, but I was 12, I was very hormonal, I was going through puberty, and that's why I'm telling this story now because obviously it's a very serious and scary thing that I don't want any of you guys to go through, so listen up. Also as well, very important thing to know, I was a minor at the time. I was obviously 12 years old, but I never once ever got naked on camera, and to this day I have still never sent a dickety-pickety. That's for personal reasons, but every single time it would always be a guy who was above age doing his business, and then when he would ask me to take my clothes off, I'd always be like, oh, my camera's broken, I don't know what's going on, it won't turn on. What the heck, this is so weird, this has never happened before. So I could avoid obviously taking my clothes off, which I did not want to do and did not want to blind anybody with, and also of course breaking the laws.
Gonna be using the blood sugar palette today, the original one. So what this clip from James Charles' YouTube video tells us is that he is well aware that the current behavior that he is doing by speaking to minors and all of this is actually breaking the law. So James Charles is certainly not unaware that what he's doing in messaging these minors and stuff on Instagram and Snapchat is illegal. James Charles knows it's illegal. He knows he's breaking federal law. Honestly, I don't think we're going to see James Charles face any kind of consequences for these actions. Because as we all know, you know, we've already said before, other people have already said also, James Charles has probably just paid these young guys off now, probably settling it out of court. Honestly, I think that's what's happened here. You know, and James Charles also made a little bit of a blunder earlier.
I am so annoyed with myself. Leave it to me to try to post a little sneak peek of tomorrow's new YouTube video on my Instagram stories using the little like draw tool to cover over the video title and the channel and the description and like the thing at the top of the tab. So it's like a little bit of a sneak peek, but like doesn't fully give away what it is, right? But my dumb ass forgets to draw over the actual video URL. For anybody who is smart enough to just type in the link, I hope you enjoyed watching tomorrow's video a little bit early. And for everybody else, I hope you guys are excited. Oh my god, I can't even. It's time for bed. Good night.
So there you have it. You can see that James Charles is not trying to be pressed or affected by this drama at all. He is just carrying on regardless, posting his YouTube videos. James, when will you ever learn? Honestly, I don't think he will. I think this is James Charles. I think he's just going to carry on doing James Charles and, you know, to hell with the consequences, because there really are no consequences for people like James Charles because they're rich, they're powerful, they're getting away with it. So last night when I was asleep, a lot went down over on Morphe's Twitter. Morphe are of course just putting posts of their products out, advertising, and everyone in the replies underneath is commenting about this situation with James Charles. People are all calling for Morphe to address it, to drop James Charles. Let's get into some of these tweets. Someone said, you cancelled Jeffree and Shane for basically being mean girls. James Charles is getting a pass for worse. So disappointed at Morphe. Another person said, where's the split from James Charles? I'm not going to buy from Morphe again until they remove this G word. Very upsetting. Somebody else said, crazy you cancelled Jeffree, but not James. Hypocrites. Another person wrote, you got rid of Laura, Shane and Jeffree, especially after all he did for your brand. Get rid of James Charles. Keep the same energy. Stop being money hungry and do the right thing, or be fair at least. If you're going to keep James, then bring everyone else back. Kylo wrote, so quick to drop Star and Dawson but want to promote new copycat makeup palettes and continue to work with Charles and not say nothing about the serious crimes against minors these past couple of years with the same they lied to me excuse, but okay. So Jeffree was banished from Morphe, but James Charles continued working with you after many allegations against him and his behaviour. WTF? Another said, James Charles committed a federal crime. You need to drop him from Morphe. Somebody else said, why are you still supporting a P-word like James Charles? You got rid of Jeffree Star. I will no longer buy from Morphe brushes. People are also calling out for Morphe to address the issue. Someone here said, so are you guys going to address the issue or not? That's my question. You guys dropped Jeffree and Shane after all the success they brought you, but will you be dropping James Charles as well, or are you guys going to be hypocrites? And the backlash for Morphe continued. Somebody said, when are you all getting rid of James Charles? He's a disgrace. Jeffree and Shane were dropped over grown-up drama. James Charles is a child G-word and P-word. Keep the same energy. Tamara wrote, ha ha ha, you split from Jeffree over drama about James Charles that ended up being true and still going on. Wow. Where's the split from James? At least Jeffree and Shane bought you the highest sales ever. Now, that last part of that tweet there, we all remember rightly that documentary, the Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star documentary. They did that last day where they were launching the palette, the good old conspiracy palette at Morphe. And, you know, they followed it. They documented the whole day. It's true. It is the tea, girl. They did bring Morphe the highest sales in one day. Yet Morphe are just like, oh, well, fuck it. We'll toss you guys aside in favour of keeping James Charles on. This shit doesn't even make sense. Like, go, keep the same energy. You know, if you're going to throw Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson out on the back of old jokes and old drama, then where's that same energy for current problems that are going on with James Charles? You know, as other people have said, they also threw Laura Lee out as well over old drama and stuff like that. Girl, Morphe are messed up. Morphe are seriously problematic for that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to stop this little video right here. Please do let me know what you thought about all the drama. Do you think that James Charles should be dropped by Morphe over all this stuff? Let me know, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for taking time to watch. Love ya. Bye-bye.